all the other kings of the other kingdoms, they knew that the power of Israel reigned on earth and set them up to be kings.
That's right.
That's why, who was it? King Josiah. When you read about King Josiah, he had created, if I could get it in First Esdras, he set up the Passover, and
right,
he said it wasn't
it
was King Josiah. But and then the king of Egypt, I believe it was the king of Egypt, came up to fight,
right.
And Josiah thought that the king of Egypt was going to fight against him,
right.
And the king of Egypt said to Josiah, look, the Most High set me up
right.
to fight. I didn't come to fight against you. And Josiah didn't hearken, and Josiah died.
Right, Josiah died because the Most High set up the king of Egypt at that time. Right. That's why the Most High put Josiah to death. But you made the point.
Right, I made the point. That's right. So
let's go back to 39th verse, 2nd Ezra 11:39.
Okay.
But that was the point, like the brother said. The point is that the king of Egypt, he knew that the Most High was setting him up.
Right.
And when you read the history, these other kings like the Persians, the Medes, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, and all that, at one particular time they knew that the Most High was the power. Right. Because the Most High showed them that he was a power. Even like Pharaoh.
That's right.
At one time, Pharaoh, the Most High hardened his heart. That's why he did what he did. If the Most High would have never hardened Pharaoh's heart, Pharaoh would have been ready to let Israel go the first plague in Egypt.
Exactly.
But the Most High did that so he can show his power.
His strength.
That's why the Most High has allowed this devil to mount up unto the heavens, so that when the Most High brings this devil down, the whole world will know surely that's the power. That's the God.
That's right. 39th verse. Are not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world?
That's right.
That the end of their times might come through them.
That the end of their times might come through them. Through who? Through the four beasts. So we're at the end right now. That's why the Most High told Ezra that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That there wasn't a metaphor. That was actual. So from the time that Jacob and Esau were born, that was the beginning of the end, because those were the two empires that were going to be fighting against each other, and the one that was supposed to be the slave to the other one, which is Esau, would be ruling at the end. And that's why when you read in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, that's why the Lord said that the end of this world was going to come during the time of Ezra, because Ezra was going to be living in the time of the end.
Right. Wasn't he that said, woe is me, for who shall deliver me in those days?
And in those evils. That's right. Evils. You know? So the Lord already made him know that he was going to be alive in those days.
Job
exactly.
Job said, the worms
eat this body and destroy it.
With my eyes shall I see the salvation.
And not another.
Ooh.
He said, and not another. All right? So this bullshit that these people out here, look, the reincarnation exists in the scriptures, all right?
Man.
They just don't understand, and the Most High blinded them, all right? That's the bottom line. So go ahead, brother.
40th verse. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past.
Why did when the fourth came, which is the Roman Empire, why did it overcome all the beasts that were past? Because the Most High set it up. Go ahead.
And had power over the world with great fearfulness.
And when the Romans took over, everybody feared the Romans. It was but it's funny because prior to that, when the Persians was in power, everybody feared the Persians. When the Greeks were in, when the Babylonians were in power, everybody feared the Babylonians. When the Greeks were in power, everybody feared the Greeks. Just like when Mike Tyson was reigning champion, everybody, like a lot of people was afraid of Mike to fight Mike Tyson. That's why a lot of them guys went there, they were all shaky, and then Mike Tyson was knocking them out because they were afraid, because the Most High had set them up at that time.
His reputation preceded him.
Exactly, like and then that reputation was being coupled with all the different stories of things that these nations were doing. So that's why people, when they heard about these nations and them, they coming to get you. Their heart turned into stone.
That happened during the time of Joshua. You know, during the time of Joshua.
Right, that's right.
When they were taking down.
When we were taking the Canaanites down.
Right, the Canaanites down.
They feared. That's why that one particular. Sorry, brother.
No.
That's why that one the Canaanites, they came and they feigned themselves that they had came on a long journey. They said we had fresh bread, it's all mildewed up. We had water, we had this, and then we had water in these what you call it, and they busted, you know, and we come on the long, our shoes all worn out, our clothes all tattered. We came on a long journey because we heard of your greatness. Right. And what did Joshua say? He said, look, all right, we're not gonna do you no harm, because the Most High already set it up for us to take down the Canaanites. But then when he found out that they lied to him, what did he do? He made them slaves.
Right.
Because they feared Israel. One time we were feared. Believe it or not, at one time we were feared. And it's still so today. The only problem is that Jake don't know that they're Israelites.
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
All right. And the 40th verse again. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth.
And these so-called white people have not judged the world with truth, beginning going back to the Greeks, the Romans, all the way up until today. Go ahead.
For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars.
And that's the so-called white men, the Edomites. They have all these things fit them. These are all characteristics of the so-called white man. Go ahead.
And destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and has cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm.
And man, there's so much information that we could bring, but we're trying to stay focused on just on the history right now. But there's so much you can bring out just on this one verse right here. Matter of fact, brother, go from there, go to the 12th chapter, and read the first and the first verse to the third verse, and then jump down to 10.
Okay. 2nd Ezra chapter 12 verse 1. And it came to pass, whilst the lion spake these words unto the eagle, I saw, and behold, the head that remained and the 4 wings appeared no more, and the 2 went unto it, and set themselves up to reign, and their kingdom was small and full of uproar.
Go ahead.
And I saw, and behold, they appeared no more, and the whole body of the eagle was burnt, so that the earth was in great fear.
And this is talking about the nuclear destruction, man. The whole earth, when America is destroyed, the whole earth is going to be in fear, because it's not just going to be one building or 2 buildings or one city. It's going to be the whole of America, man. You know, because if you only burn down one building or one city, I mean, yeah, people will get nervous a little bit, but it ain't gonna be as bad as if they burn the whole country down.
Exactly.
People will be nervous. Go ahead.
Okay. So the earth was in great fear. Then awaked I out of the trouble and trance of my mind, and from great fear, and said unto my spirit.
All right, now jump down to the 10th verse.
10th verse. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
Which is what? The 4th kingdom.
Damn.
Which you read in Daniel. Alright, now let's go back. Matter of fact, hold on. Go ahead, read on.
Okay. 12th verse. But it was not expounded unto him. Therefore now I declare unto thee.
Because Daniel didn't understand what those visions were that he saw. That's how heavy this thing is. The Most High showed him mysteries, but he didn't show him the understanding of it at that time.
Just like John.
Right, that's right. And then John is back today. And we know who John is.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Behold, the days will come, that there shall rise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were up before it.
Right, and that's the same thing with America. America is the same extension of the Roman Empire. Even though you have these other European nations that tie into that, the main revival of the Roman Empire is America.
Right.
And those, America is like the modern day Rome. Then those other European nations like the EU or the European Union,
provinces,
NATO, are nothing more than those ancient kingdoms that were ruling jointly with the Roman Empire back then. That some of them helped the Roman Empire, some of them fought against the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire took some of them down, some of them broke away from the Roman Empire, and it was always constant wars and battles amongst each other.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
14th verse. In the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another.
All right, now stop right there. Now let's go from there back to the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter where we left off. You know, and then I want to, like I said, I want to show some of these clips so you brothers can see some of the history. And then we're going to go to our Lord's will. We go to Revelation, the 17th chapter, so we can hit other points and tie this whole thing together.
Daniel chapter 7 verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
Now those 10 horns back then were the ancient 10 horns. Matter of fact, hold that, brother. Let's go to that book. The book we're going to go to is the Illuminati 666, all right, which is a book. There was an author that wrote the book. I couldn't find the name of the author, but if I find it, I'll post it up. But this is the book, the Illuminati 666, all right. And I want the brother to read. I want him to read. It's going to be under. I'm sorry, brother. It's going to be under. Just give me 1 second. It's gonna be under. I'll just scroll up because I can't remember the section. It's gonna be under the chapter 3. That's it, chapter 3. If you have the book, the page on the book is page 159, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So now I'm gonna have the brother read right there where I got it marked. I'm trying to get it up. See, because sometimes with this, here we go. It's kind of hard to get it because it's so much. But I got it, brother.
All right. As the scriptures reveal, the symbolic beasts here represent 4 pagan nations that will arise in sequence, taking dominion.
Man, we broke that down. What was that? That was a Babylonians, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, and the Roman Empire. Go ahead.
Or ruling over the whole known world at that time. These kings were recorded in history as Babylonian Empire from 605 BC to 539 BC, the lion.
Go ahead.
2. Medo-Persian Empire from 538 BC to 331 BC, the bear. 3. The Grecian Empire, ruling from 331 BC to 168 BC, represented as the leopard. 4. The Roman Empire, ruling from 168 BC to 476 AD.
Now this 476 AD, Jake was already up in there. See, Esau only goes by timetables that are given. They don't really know some of the history in between. Because after 193 AD, Septimius Severus, which is a black man, took over. And then him and his rival Pescennius Niger, they were having fights, you know. Those are Jakes after 193 AD. Go ahead.
When Rome fell...
Right, that's the dragon.
The dragon. When Rome fell in 476 AD, it was to have 10 nations that would arise out of its ruins.
And then these 10 nations, keep in mind, these 10 nations were ruling during the time when the Roman Empire was around, but they weren't together. That's why they call them the barbarians, the barbarian horde.
The barbarian hordes.
You know, because they were known as the Germanic tribes, and we're going to give you the names of those ancient kingdoms. Go ahead.
Thus he said, the fourth beast, Rome, shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of his kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings.
And then this right here, the 3 kings that is subdued, we're gonna go into that, Lord's will, like either in the later show or later on in the lesson. Go ahead.
These 10 nations are also recorded in recorded history now, as the prophecy of Daniel predicted hundreds of years earlier. They were the following: the Anglo-Saxons, the Franks, Alemanni, the Lombards,